welcome to my channel, Craft Away with May, also known as Crafty Slay by May. If you are new here, thank you for stopping by to see what we have going on. If you are returning, thank you so much for coming back to hang out with me. Today's project is going to be a slightly different DIY. I received a request from a grandmother to create some blinged out home accent or decor pieces and a couple of signs for her and her granddaughter. So I was super excited about this request. I am going to be using all wood throughout the project. There's going to be a couple pieces that I got from Michael's, like this shadow box here. And what I'm going to do for the vanity set, it's going to be a vanity set for her teenage granddaughter. She's in her preteens. So I wanted to put something kind of cute together for her, like some mock perfume bottles, a little trinket holder, and a blinged out display sign with her name on it. So that's literally what I'm doing. Like I said, all the paint I'm going to be using today, actually I don't know if I said it or not, but all the paint that I'll be using today is by Folk Art. So I'm starting out with this pink balloon. I will also be using the Adirondack white and just your basic black matte color. So you will see as I'm going through the projects, I'm moving along to each piece, kind of randomly, and that's just because I'm letting each piece dry. So I'm like doing it kind of in a rotation. Paint one, let it dry, move on to the next one, so on and so forth. You get it. But right here, I'm using this little tiara or crown. I think it's more of a crown, not so much a tiara, but nonetheless, I got this from Daiso in the Crafter Square section, and yes, I am measuring off here. Typically I just kind of eyeball things, but when I'm doing things for someone else or an order, I do try to make sure they are precise and very well thought out. So that's why I'm using the ruler in this particular DIY. Now, I love this little ruler. I've had this for quite some years now, and it is a flexible ruler. And the reason I love it so much is because, one, again, I eyeball things, and also you can bend it and it will leave an indent or right where you bent it at for about probably 10 or 15 seconds. And so that allows you enough time to kind of move around and make sure your projects are lined up nicely. And it's only a 12-inch ruler, so of course you would need a larger one if you were doing larger projects, but typically they're okay for projects like this one. So originally I thought I was going to go in with the white at the top of this crown, but I thought no, because I did want to bling it out in the middle, and I also wanted to put her name over the white. That's just the vision I had. That's how I, wanted it set up. So literally that's all I did. And for the most part, you guys, I won't be taking you through each step fully showing the painting because it's very standard, very basic type of painting. I didn't do a whole lot that that would require explanation. So if so, feel free to leave comments or questions, and I'll be glad to answer them. Now, while the rest is drying, I'm going to move on to her little blinged out sign. I am using a cutting board that I got from Daiso. It's one of their smaller boards. Comes in roughly about 11.5 by 9.5 inches, give or take. If not, I know for sure it's about the length of the ruler because of previous projects that I've done, and I have lined the ruler up against it. But nonetheless, I mean, you can really, it's not important. It's just a good ruler to have for small projects if you want to measure out sizes and things like that. So with the sign, I love the crisp lines in it. Originally, I thought I was going to put bling in those spaces, But as I laid it out, I wasn't really feeling it. So I decided to paint that whole section that I had taped off. I decided to paint it all in white and put some verbiage there or some stickers with some wording on them. And I'm really glad I did because I think it makes the piece pop a little bit more. And I gotta let you guys know, the grandmother, she was so serious about the bling on top of bling on top of bling. Like, she wanted it super blinged out for her granddaughter. So I literally did that. Like, I went bling happy. But nonetheless, it really came together nicely. I am going to show the full pic of it once I'm done through the whole video. But right here is where I kind of stepped in it, y'all. I forgot to put the Mod Podge down before putting the lettering and stickers down, right? But um I was still able to accomplish what I wanted. And I don't usually put Mod Podge on things that I'm painting, just because I like that natural painted look. And no matter which Mod Podge you use, it always has a shiny gloss to it. Some duller than others, but when it comes to painting, I'm cool on it. But nonetheless, it actually worked out in my favor, because that little pop of shine on the board itself, it really did accent the bling that was added here. So it was a good fail. You guys, I don't even think it was a fail, but it was a cool little extra something to put on there. And that's just because also, when you put the Mod Podge over it, it just kind of seals the project. So that's really uh, one of the reasons I use Mod Podge. But if you don't want to do that, you can also do a spray paint coat over it, a primer, I think it is, and you can get the same effect. It just, you will have to let it dry in a well ventilated area, because the smell can be a bit overbearing. Now here I went in with my rotary tool that I got from Dollar Tree, and y'all, I gotta tell y'all, I love this little handy dandy tool. Like, it is so precise in its cutting. And I originally thought I was going to use some scissors to separate the bling wrap that I got, but as I was starting through it, it just was starting to look like it was going to have some little jagged edges, and I didn't want to do that because it would have completely ruined the project. But even though the stickers and rhinestones that I'm using on this, they all had adhesive backings to them, with the exception of maybe one or two of them. But I did go in with a little bit of my Gorilla Glue, added little dabs here and there, just because I wanted that secure hold. I was also very happy to use my butterfly, honey. Yes, yes. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love everything about this piece. It is a lot of bling, and I did get a little nervous because I was like, maybe I just was too literal, literal what she was requesting, and I like just possibly over blinged it. But she loved it. I loved it, and I mean, hey, when you throw pink in there, you can't go wrong. But nonetheless, here it is, you guys. I did not videotape the whole thing. All the rhinestones, pretty much except for the ones at the very top, came from Daiso. Um, I'm sorry, came from Hobby Lobby and Amazon. And so it just was a long process. So that's why I chose not to show every little piece of me putting the rhinestones on. So I did also do the same on the little crown here. Um, and I forgot to add the Mod Podge as well before putting on the rhinestones. But again, this was like, it was not a big deal to do it this way. In the end, it did come together quite nicely. So I overall have no complaints about it. So I will be adding her name in the white section there. You guys will get a glimpse of that, or you will see at the end of the video. And I'm just taking a little bit of that sponge brush to wipe up any excess of the Mod Podge. do the same thing for the shadow boxes. And I was going to use that letter M in the background there, but in the end, I didn't think it would work. So here you can see with the shadow boxes, you can kind of already see them coming together. Aren't they gorgeous, guys? I know you guys are probably not as excited as I am, but oh my goodness, this was just too darling to make. But I'm also using some tower tumbling blocks from the Dollar Tree. I'm using a pack of these stickers, really just the tiara out of these stickers. And I did just add a little rhinestone to it. I covered the tower tumbling block in some of that bling wrap that I showed earlier. And I took this little knob off of a soup cover that I got from Daiso, and I just loved it. I thought it would be perfect here. And that's literally it. I go in with a little bit of my Gorilla Glue, of course, and pop that right on top, and look at it. Look at it. Oh my gosh, look at it, you guys. It's adorable. Look at the black one. Adorable. And on the border, I did do the design a little different from each one. But right here, I was not happy with the way this little trinket holder rocked back and forth. And I do believe it's a pencil holder. But nonetheless, I just went in with two of the tower tumbling blocks to create feet. And I'm kind of glad that I did that, because it just made it look even more like a little, trinket holder. It's so adorable. And while that's set, I just went ahead and popped two of the small bottles of paint in there just to give it some weight, some pressure. And now I'm going to move on to the grandmother's sign. So I had these, I have been doing these Good Morning Gorgeous signs, and they have been a really big hit. I was inspired by a piece that I saw at Hobby Lobby. If I get the chance, I'll throw it up in here so you guys could also see the original one that I did. It was for my own personal decor. There it is. It's slightly different from the one from Hobby Lobby. I couldn't find the one for Hobby Lobby, but that was how I originally had did them. And so she put in a request for one. And so when we did our little consultation, I love to get the feedback of the person I'm creating for. I want to know what their vision is, their style, their taste, so on and so forth. And so she told me she was a big fan of greens, blues, and purples. And so when I originally did this, I did it in green. But yeah, no, I wasn't feeling it. But again, it's not about me. I want to feel good about the project, but it's not about me feeling comfortable with it. I have to know that the person that's requesting it is okay with it. So she was on the same page as me and was like, yeah, no, we know. So we both agreed, like, we're going to X the green. But I did tell her, give me a day or so to come up with an alternative. And literally right at night, my mind was just racing, and boom, I was like, okay, I'm going to go with the blue. I want to create this whole scenery of it's like water with the moon coming through. I did a similar piece of wall art on a smaller scale for myself to hang in my living room, and that too came out gorgeous. But this, I just had a whole vision for her, and so you will see very shortly here. I just went in and used my Cricut Joy, some rhinestones I got from Michael's, and a couple of my butterflies. And I just was like, this already, I was loving it. I'm not a painter, but I love this type of art. And you guys, look at this. Like, it's my favorite by far. I mean, it's just, oh, it's so adorable, with her coming about the water, blowing kisses to herself, saying good morning, gorgeous, and also how the butterflies represents freedom to me. I was able to use my navy blue butterflies on this one as well as my white ones. And in the saying within the lady, it says, I love the woman I've become because I fought to become her. And I just fell in love with that saying, and I knew this was her piece. And so I sent it over to her before I said it. She adored every single piece of this. So my heart was on full and super happy that she liked it. And of course, I had to sneak my fall in love every day, you guys, because every day that we have the opportunity to open our eyes, we have a reason to find something to fall in love with. So I hope you guys do that. Here is the dream piece for her granddaughter Milani, and oh my gosh, y'all, I love this, love this, love this. I tried to create a little tiara peak or crown peak at the top of it. The butterfly, the little girl with the headband, and the perfume bottles. Honey, I love the sparkle on these. I love the design, the simplicity of it, and I think it's perfect for a preteen teenager, you know, that this is something that they can put up, style display, style and display how they want. So I just loved every single thing about each one of these pieces, and I went heavy on the bling. But like I said, in the end she was happy. I left this little piece right here, you guys, and because when I was working on the grandmother's piece, part of the lettering from the vinyl had popped out, and I didn't know, or I couldn't see where it popped to. But once I started adding um, the name on this one, I'm like, there you go. So I know y'all can relate as crafters. I know y'all have found a piece of vinyl on your robe, your forehead, somewhere. You have found it. But I thought that was super um, funny. But nonetheless, look at it. Isn't it gorgeous, you guys? I know you just seen it, but I just was so excited. And if you guys are still here, thank you so much for sticking around. I hope you consider subscribing, liking, sharing, and engaging in some conversation. If not, be safe, be kind. I appreciate you, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Take care, lovies, and happy crafting the day away. Bye.